Whoa. Oh, man, I hate it when that artificial gravity kicks in. Hello, and welcome to Moondream Press. My name is Michael H. Hansen, and I am the managing editor of Copper Dog Publishing, and Moondream is one of our three imprints, specifically dealing with science fiction, fantasy, and horror. Uh, Today is the second video I'm doing in the Maauro series, which, see some of the books up there. And the second book that I'm talking about today is Against That Time by Edward F. McEwen, the author of the Maauro series. Now, I didn't go into too much detail in the last book, though a lot was implied, especially when you look at all the covers and you see what appears to be an anime type female figure on it. And I'll go into a little detail now about close to the end of the last book, and then I'll start getting a little bit into this wonderful second volume in this wonderful series. Basically, Rick Trigart and his crew find a 50,000-year-old inactive battle android from an alien race. It's somewhat humanoid in proportion. And they save its life, if you will, because it is so advanced. It doesn't really understand emotions because it's designed as a battle droid, but it has a very complex uh, cognition. It is an amazing AI beyond anything that, anything in human space could know in the far future. And near the end of it, it decides that since its life was saved by Rick and his crew, that it wanted to be part of them, like it was once a battle android for this long gone alien species, that it now wants to be part of the crew. And it looks at the different aliens among Rick's crew. It looks at humans, looks at some of the others, and it decides it doesn't really see anything it wants to look like, because it has the ability to mimic other life forms in terms of its outward appearance. And so it plugs into Rick's computer, the ship's computer, and it looks through files, not knowing exactly what they are. Even as intelligent as it is, it's dealing with a lot of stuff it's never seen before. And it finds these ancient games, and one was a game filled with anime characters, and it decided that it wanted to become female. But not only that, it found a female anime character would make itself look like, thinking this is an actual human being, a representation of a realistic human being. So when it forms itself into, what it considers a human shape, it suddenly has eyes 2 or 3 times as big as what looks normal, and, unusual facial features, and just not quite right for a human being, but, still looking startlingly beautiful. And, acting sometimes a bit sociopathic, because it is an AI and it doesn't really understand emotions, mostly advanced protocols. And it, or should I say she, Maauro, Maauro, is just beginning to learn what it is to be a human being among other human beings and sentient races within the Confederation. And, being a member of a crew. So learning what it is to be part of all different kinds of, for want of a better word, networks. And, her strength is just beyond imagination, like the strength of 100 people, internal weaponry, plasma phaser that could, plasma flame that could come out of her hand, an unusually talented hacker, because, like I said, she comes from an ancient civilization technologically far superior to anything that they confront in the galaxy. And in this one, the first big adventure that the crew has, they find themselves retrieving a very unusual object that, as the back cover vaguely describes it, and I'll read from it right now. Against That Time by Edward F. McEwen. Rick Trigart, disgraced military pilot, and his companion, the ancient android Maauro, have survived their initial battles with the Guild, Confed government, and the ancient infestor artifact. With the aid of the beautiful and canny Jael and the reluctant service of the former crime lord Dusko, they have established lost planet expeditions to go where others dare not. But the reach of the government is long, and they are soon called on to a journey to a gas giant on the edge of Confed space, among the utterly alien Ribisans. There they will face an enemy who can twist time and space. Each move could bring interstellar war. Maauro and Rick's friendship deepens in new and unexpected ways as they must battle their inner limitations as well as this new enemy. Against that time continues Rick's search for redemption and Mauro's quest for identity in this new existence she has begun since being found after 50,000 years on an asteroid in My Outcast State, the previous book I discussed in my last video. Against That Time by Edward F. McEwen. And so, an explanation of all the covers. This is what Maauro, living in a very realistic world like we live in, looks like compared to all the other human beings. There'll be some changes, and, well, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I want you to be able to read this and determine for yourself. But, great space opera, great adventure, wonderful characterization. You know, can an AI, albeit an advanced one, really learn what it is to be human, or even what it is to be a woman? So many more questions coming up to be answered. This baby is worth it. You should check it out. Thank you for listening. Oops. Actually, thank you for a second. Oh. Thank you for listening.